Hello and welcome to Tête-à-Tête France 24's flagship interview show. Our guest today is the President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame. Mr. President, thank you very much for being our guest.
You're welcome.
In a recent interview, the President, Felix Tshisekedi, said, quote, "What's happening in eastern DRC is a genocide 10 times worse than the one in Rwanda in 1994. And he points the figure at you and say you deserve much more than the International Criminal Court." What is your response?
So from that video, which is an interview by the France 24 media and the Rwandan president, so he was asked whether Rwanda is going to stop sending their troops across the border into Congo. And what he said is that Rwanda is ready to go to war with the Congo. Can you imagine? Rwanda, a tiny country, is ready to go to war with the Congo. Now, I know a lot of countries have been telling the Congolese president to restrain himself, or rather not to wage war with Rwanda, because they know if this happens, Rwanda is going to get hurt a lot. There are going to be so many people hurt in the war. Because you can imagine, I mean, I don't even have to explain it to you, but look, the tiny Rwanda with nothing to lose, even when they go, if they were to go to war, is provoking Congo, saying that they are ready to go to war. And I can tell you that if you see someone smaller than you, lesser than you, trying to provoke you into a conflict, you have to think twice, because maybe they are dying, maybe they have cancer and they're about to leave. That's why they are provoking you. Because how can a tiny country like Rwanda, that even relies on foreign aid to survive, imports almost everything they eat in Rwanda except their plantains, matoke. Everything else they import from other countries, from Uganda, from Tanzania. They just buy food from other countries, including Congo. Most of the food eaten in Rwanda comes from Congo, through Goma and through the southern border of Cyangugu in Bukavu. Now they are saying that they want to go to war with Congo. And how are they going to survive when they go to war? Are they going to stop importing food? So the president of Rwanda keeps provoking Congo. We've said this before. And he was in France to pick his paycheck. Yes, you heard me right. A paycheck. He keeps going to France to get paid because he has sent more than 3,000 Rwandan troops to Mozambique to protect the French interest in Mozambique. The French energy giant Total invested $20 billion in developing gas fields in northern Mozambique. And then the people in Mozambique didn't want this French energy giant because it was displacing them from their own ancestral lands, from their own fishing villages that have been there for more than 1,000 years. And the young men from these communities took up guns. They started fighting and attacking workers at this French energy giant complex. And when the Mozambican government sent the troops to stop them, the troops looted and stole from villagers to a point that now they were hated by their own citizens. So after Mozambique got embarrassed, they recalled their troops from the north. So France approached Rwanda to solve this situation, and they sent more than 3,000 Rwandan troops to this territory to try to fend off or to fight these insurgents, as they are calling them, though we know they are not insurgents. These are freedom fighters who are attacking this French energy giant complex. And in return, Rwanda gets to have 400 million euros every year from the EU, approved by the EU, and handed out to them by France. So it's EU, France paying Rwanda. And the man who goes to pick the check is no other than. So he was there. And the French TV, France 24, had a chance to interview him and ask him on his stand on what is going on in Congo. And as usual, he keeps accusing Congo of things they've never done. He accuses Congo of committing genocide on Rwandans. That's just absurd. We know the history. It's the Rwandans that crossed over to Congo. The Hutus went to Congo, followed by the by the Tutsi. They're the ones who went to Congo to take the war that they had in Rwanda there. And now they're turning around and accusing the Congolese people as being the ones who committed those atrocities. It's just absurd. And he's saying this because, he's a liar. And he has to impress his masters after collecting 400 million euro check. It's a check. He gets a check, So that's why he was there. Even if he's supposed to be campaigning in Rwanda, he's going to have to be, to carry out mock election. They are mock election because he doesn't allow real candidates to oppose or to be on the ballot. If you are a real, genuine candidate, he'll come up with trumped up charges and jail you. So he makes funny candidates. He manufactures parties, registers his own opposition parties. The Green Party was registered way back in the year 2010 by the ruling party in Rwanda, RPF, also known as FPR. So it's their own opposition party. It's like if the Republican Party in the US registered another party so that it can be acting as an opposition to them when it comes to their mock election. So that's the situation in Rwanda. There's no voting happening. The parties won, and they have to create fake parties to look like they are real competition there, and so on, so that they can go back to the international community begging. And he has a tendency of trying to look Pan-Africanist, insulting the same people he's supposed to go back to collect checks from. And I think he tells them, don't mind my words. I'm saying this to basically confuse my enemies in Africa. So he goes there and says, Africa should not accept loans. Africa should rely on itself. We should reject foreign aid. Then after doing such kind of statements, he calls his masters to send him the money, the aid that he was saying that we should stay away from. The loans that he keeps telling people not to take, he goes back to them and collects. So he's a liar and a puppet and a colonialist of the West in Africa.